All right, let's dive into something that sits right at the heart of how businesses and technology actually connect: conceptual data models. We're going to break down how to build a shared business language.
You know that feeling, right? You're in a project meeting, the business team is saying one thing, the IT team hears something totally different, and what gets built? Well, it's not quite what anyone had in mind. Everyone's speaking English, but it feels like they're on different planets. So, what is going on here?
The problem isn't the dictionary, it's the meaning. When someone from sales says customer, does that mean the exact same thing as when a developer uses the word? Is a product in the marketing system the same as a product in the warehouse system? You see, without a precise shared language for what these business concepts are, you get ambiguity. And ambiguity is where projects go to die.
So how do we fix this? How do we build this universal language? We do it by creating a conceptual data model. Think of it like the official grammar for our business. And, just like any language, it starts with a few fundamental building blocks. First up, we have entity classes. These are the nouns of our business language. They're the big, important things the business really cares about, like a customer, a product, or an order. Now, for those of you who've worked with databases, you can already see where this is going. An entity class is basically the blueprint for what's probably going to become a table.
Okay, so if entity classes are our nouns, we need adjectives to describe them, right? That's where attributes come in. A customer has a name, a product has a price. These are the little details that give our concepts color and meaning, and yet they usually end up as the columns in our database tables.
And finally, to make it all make sense, we need verbs. Relationships are the verbs that bring our language to life. They connect our nouns. A customer places an order. An employee manages a branch. These connections show how our core concepts actually interact with each other, and they're the foundation for things like foreign keys when we get to the database design.
All right, so we've got our nouns, adjectives, and verbs. But just a pile of words isn't a language, is it? You need rules. You need grammar to make sure everyone is forming clear, unambiguous sentences. In data modeling, that precision comes from two key ideas.
Let's talk about optionality and cardinality. Now, they might sound a bit technical, but honestly, they answer two very simple, very human questions. Optionality just asks, does this relationship have to exist? Is it mandatory or is it optional? And cardinality asks, okay, if it does exist, how many things can be connected? Just one or maybe a whole bunch?
Let's make this real with a simple business rule. Each branch must be managed by exactly one employee. See, the word must, that's our optionality. It's mandatory. You can't have a branch without a manager. And exactly one, that's our cardinality. Not 0, not 2, just 1. These simple words create the kind of precision that businesses absolutely depend on.
So we have our language, we have our grammar, but is there only one way to write it all down? Turns out, no. There are different dialects, and you pick one based on who you're talking to.
Two of the most common ways you'll see this drawn out are entity relationship models, or ERMs for short, and UML class diagrams. But here's the most important thing to get. They are not competing with each other. They're just two different ways of writing the same story, each one tailored for a different audience.
So which one do you pick? It all comes down to your audience. ERMs are fantastic for talking with business folks. They're designed to be readable and easy to understand. UML, on the other hand, is the native tongue of developers. It's the technical blueprint they use to actually build the software. The goal isn't to pick a winner. It's about using the right tool for the right conversation.
Okay, we've defined the language, the grammar, the different dialects, but let's zoom out. Why does any of this matter on a grand scale? Why should an entire company care about getting this right?
Because a conceptual data model is so much more than a diagram for a single project. When it's done right, it becomes the single source of truth for the language of the entire business. It takes all those fuzzy, ambiguous terms and locks them down into a solid, unified structure that everyone, from the C-suite to the brand new hire, can finally agree on.
And once you have that unified language, a really powerful chain reaction starts. First, you define the language. That lets you align the entire organization around a shared understanding. And that alignment is the rock-solid foundation you need to build better, more resilient systems that actually do what the business needs them to do. All because everyone is finally speaking the same language.
So this leaves us with a final thought, a question to take back to your own organization. What language does your business really speak? Is everyone on the same page? Or are different departments speaking conflicting dialects, creating confusion and costing time and money?
A conceptual model isn't just a tech drawing. It's the constitution for your company's most important asset. It's data.
Hey, if this helped you see data and business in a new light, do us a favor and hit that like button, share this with your colleagues, and subscribe for more explainers like this one. Thanks for tuning in.